Pranam Sadguru.
Namaskaram.
I had the tax administration in this country so far as direct taxes is concerned, and my job, as I perceive, is to raise resources for the government, which can be used for the greater good of all the people. But in these difficult times, Sadguru, I find that though the department has done a lot to ease the compliance burden of the taxpayers, still there exists some sort of a trust deficit between the taxpayer and the government. I would like to have your views how to bridge this trust deficit so that we can create an enabling environment whereby each one of us contribute to the job of nation building.
Well, so what I say, you may not like it, but shall I say?
Please.
Because, see, in a nation like ours, when less than 2% of the population is paying income tax, they will always feel that their money is not coming back to them in the form of services, because with 2% of the people or less than 2% of the people paying tax, you have to service the other 98% of the population which doesn't pay tax. So naturally, people who pay taxes will feel it's very unjust, because nearly 40%, 40 rupees out of 100 rupees if you take it away, there is a certain pain. So naturally, we will find professionals who can give us all kinds of masala to reduce that 40 rupees into 30 rupees or 20 rupees or whatever. Fortunately for the corporate taxes, it's been reduced, which is a very sensible thing to do. But right now, as a nation, what we need is not taxes, what we need is phenomenal amount of investments we need in this country. If we want the life of this generation, not the next one or the next one, this generation's life, if we want to see real betterment and improvement, if we want this generation of people to experience this ancient nation as a developed country, then what we need is not taxes, because it's too little. We need phenomenal amount of investments. I would say, in the next 2 years, minimum of 1 to 1.5 trillion investments if we get, then we will have infrastructure, then we will have services, then we will have businesses running, then we will have everybody being employed. But with these taxes, the amount of taxes we are collecting, to collect taxes from 1.4 or 1.5% of the population and service 98% is not a practical way to go on. Even if you increase it to 3, 4, 5% in the next few years, if that much earning comes, but I think many people will fall off the tax bracket now in this 2020, rather than people entering into the tax bracket. Above all, to build a nation, one of the most important thing is people should have a feeling and an affinity for the nation. Right now, this tax is one thing which makes people still, in this country we must understand, even today district administrators are called as collectors. This is from the British era. Because the British were only interested in collecting tax, never giving you any service. They were just taking the tax money and taking it back to their home, whatever they were doing there. So, that same the same words are still used, they're still collectors. So even today, I must tell you this, and you know this better than me, at that time in the British era, there are many heroes in our, not as big as Mahatma Gandhi or Subhash Chandra Bose or something like that. There are many small folk heroes in local areas, in the villages and other things. The one reason why they became heroes was, they did not pay the tax. The man who did not pay the tax was a hero in this country, and that unfortunate mentality or psychology still persists in the country. Even today, if you meet among small traders and others, how he escaped the tax is a very big conversational thing, and the guy who did not pay the tax is always the hero in this country. This is a wrong approach to nation building. It's very important that people are honest with the nation. For that, there must be a fair sense of return. See, now 40 rupees out of 100 rupees I pay. Even 1 rupee, does it come back to me? This is a question mark, because You have to service the 98% of the population which doesn't pay the tax. So what is the solution? What I say, please sir, if it is not knowledgeable, please dismiss it, but this is just my thought. I'm just thinking, anyway now GST has come, transactional taxes can come, bank transactional taxes can come, for every transaction you can take it. Right now, income tax is only adding to 16% of the government's revenue. This 16% can be easily made up in transactional taxes and the goods services can be taxed. See, somebody does not mind paying. Right now, if I buy like a car or a motorcycle or a piece of cloth or anything, even if I buy food, if you are charging me another 40 paisa extra for 1 rupee, I don't really mind. But when I have to pay 40 rupees out of my 100 rupees, it hurts, especially because I think these services are not coming back to me. For me, money is one aspect of it, money is not the important aspect. The important aspect is the citizens of this nation start dodging something. So there is an element of criminality in that. And by being a criminal, you survive and you're successful being a criminal. Either you somehow escape or you bribe somebody or you get away with the system somehow. Now, once I commit one crime and I'm successful, I'm always encouraged to commit a bigger crime and a bigger crime. This must go out of our citizenry, this must go out of the Indian mind completely. We must know that if we are not law-abiding, there is a price to pay and a serious price to pay. Right now, it is just a question of little fine, do this, do that, so much unnecessary nonsense. How much time and energy are individual people, business people are spending time as to how to dodge the tax. I'm not saying they won't do that with GST, that also has become a big organization now in the country. But those things can be much more easily fixed than the income tax, and 16% of the income for the nation can come. But if we remove income tax, the amount of money that will come into the country is enormous. Right now, corporate tax has been reduced to 22%, is it? 22 or…
Yes.
22%. Ireland has 15% or 14%, something like that. If we get down the corporate tax to that level, I know we will lose revenue, but losing revenue is a good decision to take. And the inflow of investment coming in is most important. There is no such thing as foreign investment and local investment anymore, because we can make foreign investment into local produce and local employment, local industry. We can also frame laws. If you invest in the country, it's not that all the profit you will take away and go away somewhere. Anyway, tax is low means they will keep it here. See, right now, major companies like Google and others are keeping billions of dollars in Ireland because the tax is low. That's what the US president is trying to get back to their country. If our taxes are low, people will keep their money here, and that's how a nation becomes rich, that's how the businesses will thrive. We must understand that by paying taxes, nation does not become rich. Nation will become rich only when the businesses thrive. If businesses have to thrive, inflow of money should be happening, everybody should want to put their money in our country. That must happen. Right now, everybody is parking their money elsewhere and elsewhere, wherever the tax is less. I think this is my thought. If I'm wrong, please tell me.
Thank you, Sadguru.
You can tell me, sir, if I'm wrong on my perception.
Maybe we will engage in that discussion sometime later, Sadguru. Thank you.
But it's a thought process, and which is a vision which is much more dynamic than just being a tax collector. So that's something which has really come out of the whole thing.
The most important thing is, ordinary citizens behaving like criminals is a bad idea for a nation.
Yes. Thank you, Sadhguru. So we have with us…
But here, let me just tell one thing, that wherever as a tribunal we feel that the assessment carried out by the income tax authorities are not in accordance with law, or maybe not in accordance with the justice delivery norms and system, we always try to rectify their mistakes and do justice to the assessees, especially.
See,
Only
how many complex systems just to collect tax from one, less than 2% of the people.
Yes.
The income tax department, then an appellate, then another system and another system.
Yes,
How
yes.
many systems?
Yeah, even after
True.
tribunal, High Court and Honorable Supreme Court, many disputes go. Yes.
True.
True.
Moving slightly away from